Everybody here, young and old, is in your hands.
Well, this seems bad. You don't have to fight, you know. Running away is always an option.
We need to escape. That's our only priority. I seek to destroy the irrational power structure that shackles Fodlan.
They'll have me cut into pieces and dumped into the nearest river for sure.
I already found proof some time ago. Proof of his corruption, that is. I was ready to serve him up to the authorities myself. I thought I could carefully build a solid case against him while studying at the academy.
So, if you desire resolution, start resolving matters. And for the record, Petra, I don't want you to die. Are you certain you don't wish to walk away from this?
I have things that I cannot fail to accomplish. It is our duty to make everything right. Caspar, will you give me help?
Well, hey, look at that.
Huh? It's you. What are you doing here?
We're enemies now, you and I.
My teacher, the time for discussion has come to an end. When next we meet, one of us will breathe their last.
They hate one another so much.
I wish they'd just have it out already.
Our only option is to leave the monastery and go into hiding. Wouldn't it be better for the two of us to live in peace?
Even if we ran off to some new, secret location, there is no guarantee that they would not find us. He always acts so oddly. It makes me ill at ease.
Who is it? Is that... It's you! I was going to ask you the very same thing. Looters deserve no forgiveness! After them!
What the? Intruders! Protect the goods!
Here we are, everybody, at the fateful chapter 13.
Stop the thieves.
We're going to
Retrieve
see
our
the
stolen goods.
debut of Seteth, at least, and the
What's my
outro
strategy?
of the Slack Eagles as the A-team for the most part. And after this mission, we'll be trying to transition over to having the church units be the A-team. But for now, we have to worry about actually living. We have a lot of items to trade back and forth here to try and make this as good as possible. We have the Caduceus staff on silent. For this first turn, we're going to try leaving Silith as the one that can retaliate. And it looks like that worked out because he got a crit and eliminated that first initial unit. We're going to compare some different numbers here. We have a steel shield on Seteth, and now he has a mini bow that he just borrowed from Silith. We can see that Silith being male was not the best decision to try and do this because there's no synergy with Seteth's personal ability. So we're going to have Seteth, with his higher defense, be the one that is going to try to occupy the choke point. And unfortunately, Caduceus staff's range isn't quite long enough to get Silith to attack there. So maybe we should have kept Thyrsus on him, but I am thinking that that passive healing might be useful enough. If Seteth can plug the choke point, then Silith will still be able to attack everyone that gets in line. Seteth gets a really couple of important dodges there, because if he didn't get them, he'd be dead. And getting both of them, of course, is very good. Not particularly likely, but we'll take whatever luck we can get.
We had no place to go, so we came back to Garreg Mach. But then... Huh? Professor?
Yeah, wouldn't have come if you knew that.
Looks like there's a fight. I'm ready to join the battle.
Are you?
It is confirmed that Professor is alive. I will be cooperating.
You can sense the reluctance there.
What are you doing here? Never mind, we'll have to talk later. Help us with these thieves.
And that is a genuine plea for
No
help
fighting.
that everyone eventually makes when they're around Silith too much. Now, Dorothea actually has the mobility to get out of her initial position and come into the little box that Syleth and Seteth are stuck in. Of course, the question becomes, what exactly do we want her to do at this juncture? There are snipers that can get close enough to take her out if she stays mounted, so she has to get off of Yvie. And then, well, we'll see what happens to her then. The main complication in this initial loadout is that there are some enemies with pass, so we can't just count on Seteth to block the choke point by himself. Terrible level for Silas. Some things never change. So, unfortunately, we can't just have Seteth try to tank everything and take a swig out of that mystery flask that he got from Ferdinand. Caspar is in a very bad position because he's not fast, his defense isn't great, so it's very hard for him to do anything but just stand there and pray. Petra also in not a great position. She's the one that has Thyrsus, so she can attack here, but if she doesn't get a crit, she's at risk of just dying. Some of it from Acheron's spine, some of it from getting punched. Okay, so she can survive the initial attack and then get the counter off, and Thyrsus will never actually kill her. But the problem is, if she has other enemies coming after her, she only has the one hit point, which is the only one she needs to live, but they intend to take it away. Here we see Dorothea getting the one dodge she needed to live, thanks to her newfound evasion skills. And now we see the issue that this mission represents. Petra looks like she can get right out of the danger zone. She goes to attack. She can't quite take it out. She can use Nosferatu, but I don't know that she'll be able to out-heal the Thyrsus damage, so I think we just have to try and go for the crit. Of course we don't get it. So now we have to figure out what we're going to do about all this nonsense. Syleth is the one with the actually useful gambit, so we have to make sure that he has the best weapon equipped before we go and try to do that. I don't think we're worried about him having excess range. We just need some defense on him. And we'll have Dorothea provide some support passively, so we can just assault troop here. That'll keep the snipers from moving. We'll get rid of that bandit. And now only one melee unit can move in and attack Syleth from the sides. Of course, we have the pass dudes here, so that's not great. I don't know if we have a way out of this. We can have Dorothea fly away, of course. We can have her finish off the... No, we cannot. Oh, right. Well, we know what Caspar is going to do, but I think we're going to have to reevaluate all of our life choices for multiple reasons, but among them that we're going to have some casualties. Petra, for example, and I don't know that we have a future without her. Okay. So, oh, Syleth goes down too. So, yeah, that plan's not gonna work. The question then just becomes, how far back do we turn the clock? We could go right here after the assault troop, but I feel like we have to totally reevaluate how we're going to deal with Petra's little problem. So let's just go to the beginning of the turn. If we have Syleth take this guy out, then we can move Seteth to plug that hole. And then the pass dudes, if they attack Syleth, would have to attack him in the bushes. Of course, they would be able to get another angle on Seteth. Seteth's defense is actually quite good, so I think we want to do the attack with Petra. Fortunately, that's still not a critical hit. And then Dorothea can try to get this kill. And we'll use curved shots. There's no room for error.
Only thorns left on this rose.
Okay, so we get a chest key, which, is several steps ahead of where we are at this juncture. There's no armored units that Dorothea's going to be dealing with, so we can put that mace away. So Dorothea and Petra are safe. Now we have to try and keep Seteth and Silent alive. Because of the pass units and the snipers, we're not really getting a ton out of blocking the choke point. So we're just going to let them in because they only have one way to attack each of Silent and Seteth in melee this time. Now the question is whether we can survive the snipers. That'll be the big test. Seteth's defense is good enough that he doesn't have to worry about the strikes themselves, but the poison strike is going to add up pretty quick for him. We have units coming for Petra still. That isn't great, given her paucity of HP, shall we call it. Oh, Seteth down makes the mission basically impossible. So it looks like the snipers were enough to get to him. Oh, and somebody's coming to kill Caspar too. Yeah, Sileth can't handle any of this by himself, or really with everyone's help. So yeah, there's no hope with Seteth down. We really need him to be able to block stuff. So put him here. We can, I don't really know what else we can really do. We can try to attack with him instead of rallying Silent. And sure, get an 8% crit that might change everything.
Won't allow it.
Yeah, definitely could have counted on that.
You could do it.
Did you? Counting on extremely unlikely things got us this far, I suppose. And Sileth gets a dodge, so we're still technically in it. Seteth, of course, is on the receiving end of a good dodge. Can he manage to evade this one? No. He's still going to get poison struck there. So is Seteth still down in this timeline? Let's see. We got more approaches over to the right. And here we go. Seteth can get one of these dodges. We're in a better position. No. Okay, that looks like it changed nothing. Even though we got that crit on one of the sword guys. So there's that passive healing I wanted when I was doing the trades at the end of Chapter 12. Okay. Let's see. Gotta go back to the beginning of this turn with Dorothea still here. Fire away Seteth.
What's my strategy?
And now we're going to try and go for this gambit again, I think. Yeah. Load the shield up. Throw down the assault troop. We forgot to give Dorothea the bow, but we've been through this enough times that we know this will work. Alright, we get another mystery flask, so obviously take a swig of anything that you find mysteriously from a thief. Now, Dorothea has the option here of blocking things off, which is a maybe. We can use her as a dodge tank and then have Petra drink away the worries that she inflicted on herself. Sileth not doing great here, though that heal off the Crest of Flames may be dispositive. Dodge from Dorothea, okay. Is this actually going to work? For everyone but Caspar, of course. Caspar is rapidly running out of options. No, this doesn't work for Sileth either. Okay. So is that turn just unsalvageable with the options that we have? We don't have a ton of ways to even manipulate the RNG, but there must be something. We can keep Seteth right here, and he can punch this dude to death if we get a little luck on these 67% shots. Okay, so that takes out that guy. It keeps Seteth in that position. Which, with the steel shield equipped, so now we can have Syleth come up here. And if he uses the gambit and lands it, that'll mean that a sniper... Come on! It just missed?
Is this
wow.
the final act?
Alright, well... Doesn't change that much for our plan. It just means that that sniper can move and attack. Dorothy is now in the bushes with her dodge tank status.
Put me in there.
So let's see how hard this fails. Dorothea manages to live through a melee attack, so it may be that her acting as bait may be the thing that gets us out of this. Okay, Syleth taking a shot from that blessed bow. And, okay. Got some guys running away from Petra, which is nice. Get a little punch out of Seteth. And a bunch more of the melee dudes can't get in. So that's what we needed. Seteth takes some concerning hits from that sniper, but he's still up. Caspar's in a little more than a bit of trouble. We can take Thyrsis off of Petra, and she can keep drinking those vulneraries. Caspar, you know what you gotta do, buddy. Stay alive as long as possible. I don't think there's a way for Caspar to get out of this. But if he can land this, then he might buy himself another turn. Or at least just do as much damage as he can. This looks pretty bad, just visually. You can see we're surrounded. Everybody's at really low HP. We got our mystery flask. We have ways to not kill any of these enemies. So, you know, things are going great. We can curved shot some things that can't counter, or we can just embrace the existential dread of it all and try this again. So the question is how far back we want to go. We want to keep that punch or no? Okay, we'll keep the punch. We'll have Dorothea mount up and go over to these bushes. No, we're going to have her kill this, well, not kill it, but set it up so Petra can. And let's see, do we then have
What's
Petra
my strategy?
attack? No, what we do is try to make this assault troop actually land. Which now it does, because we went to attack with Dorothea first. Okay, now Petra can go over here and land her 100% attack. Which... Okay, it works. You don't get the bad manner critical. And now Petra and Dorothea are safe. Caspar is waiting to death to come claim him. Seteth is okay through this attack. Snipers now can't move, so this one has to attack Syleth, and Syleth can counter, so that is really nice.
All is going to plan.
I don't know that we really have a plan per se, but it's going according to something. Assassin coming down, he's one of the biggest problems on the map. Seteth misses his counterpunch, but he's still up. The sniper that can't move still has to attack him, and it is a miss. Excellent, and doesn't even double. Okay, so this is as good as we've managed to get it. We can land... Ooh, okay. Well, I suppose that was in the range of possibilities. Right. So we'll just keep that guy's drink. And Now the problem is that we've had to back off, so we're going to have to throw down this other assault troop and lock down that assassin and rattle this bandit. So, problem is the snipers can move now, so that's not great. And Petra and Dorothea are in some trouble as well. It would be really nice if Wind could land a crit, but of course we haven't gotten any of them that Petra's thrown down. So Dorothea is going to have to try and finish this brawler herself. With Night Dealer, we get a 95% chance we don't roll a 1, so here we go. We get the most useful item in the game, the antitoxin. So now we just need to keep Dorothea in position where she can move in, attack, and move out. Caspar is now up against a single brawler, and I think he has precisely 0 chance of getting out of this alive. If he doesn't have a very good way to be dodgy or anything, so we just have to hope that if he lands the gambit and attacks him, that he'll be able to counter and kill it before it kills him. But of course, moving into those bushes draws out other units as well. Good counter kick there from Sedith.
Hopefully this proves useful.
I don't think it will, but good optimism there, Sedith. Okay, Syleth gets a counter off on that guy, which unfortunately opens up another space to attack him, but I don't think there are too many melee dudes left. Great dodges there from Sedith. That keeps us in this game.
I have mastered this ability.
Yes, you have, to the extent that we can say that's really useful. And, of course, we get a brawler coming down to kill Caspar before he even has a chance to counter that one that he stuck in place. So RIP Caspar, I'm afraid. Assassin is a big, big issue. Dorothea can get some chip damage in, which maybe it's helpful, maybe it won't be. But get out of danger there, Dorothea. And Petra can unequip Acheron's spine and do some healing on Dorothea for whatever that's worth. And now we're back to just the main characters in this mission, Syleth and Sedith.
There's no turning back now.
There truly isn't, because we've let them in our little safety box. Sedith, not doing great on HP, and has some not-so-good friends. So we use our melee mini bow, take that out, and now we're really using the thoughts and prayers strategy. We have some enemies going toward Petra and Dorothea. I think now Petra is cornered. We get Syleth dodging that gambit, which is good, and we have a couple of brawlers coming back toward the safety box. A little passive healing on Petra is nice, but I think completely irrelevant. Dealt with everyone that has pass. So now Sedith can just stand there and give Syleth some room to maneuver. We can get Syleth right behind him to set this last sniper on fire. Well, not the last one. There's another one over there trying to kill Dorothea. And now we really need some gambits to work. We can pick up Thyrsus again to provide some support, and Dorothea lands this one. Okay, so that means that the sword users are rattled. Dorothea can fly up here. Okay, everyone's attacking Petra because Petra's on the brink of death. So Petra, hop in here. Use your vulnerary, it's all we can really do. Do we want Nosferatu on the counterattack? I don't think that's really relevant. We can raise her evasion a little bit by equipping something that's not an attack. I don't know if that is even worth it. Okay, attack coming at Sedith, leaving him at 18. Another attack coming in for Sedith, and that kills him. Okay, now of course means Syleth dies because anyone that can touch him can kill him. Okay, so it looks like the weak link there was that Seteth just didn't have enough HP, or, you know, we didn't accomplish enough over here. If we can take out this sniper, we might have something, but if we don't rattle all of these swordsmen, we move Petra up to this position, Petra is definitely going to die. Petra, the noble person that she is, might be willing to lay her life down because she's working for Seteth, or just doing basic trolley problem math, saving more lives than she's spending.
I'm growing, but at what cost?
Oh, we'll find out, Dorothea. She nabs that silver bow, you know, getting her pieces of silver for whatever transaction she's in. And now we know 100% that Petra's down because that was a 69% chance to hit on that bandit. So Petra down isn't as debilitating to this particular mission as Seteth going down. And of course, there's only one way to attack Seteth there. I really, really would prefer that Petra not die. Running out of divine pulses.
More fighting.
I don't know that there's another way to do this. If we can... Okay, if we don't get the crit on the Killer Lance, so I think we just have to accept that Petra's down. We can move Dorothea back into the safety box, rather than having her floating around willy-nilly. And of course we need to get Acheron's spine out again, so that we are maximally vulnerable. And just blow this guy back to Bridget before we join the spirit realm.
Pride.
And yeah, I think that if we're going to take this, then Petra has to go down too. Okay, Seteth should live again because it's only melee units left. Alright, so if we go back far enough, we don't have to accept Petra's death. But we're also in a position where we had to get pretty lucky for everyone else to live. So I am just wondering if there's any realistic way to proceed.
I am nearing my limit.
Okay, what we can do is be more offensive with Petra. Okay, obviously landing a crit would be nice. That didn't work.
What's my strategy?
So we're running out of ways to do this. Syleth can't get rid of this assassin by himself. But Dorothea, if we use her to plug up the way to get to Petra, we've got a maybe. We just need her to dodge well enough in the bushes.
Only thorns left on this rose.
So Dorothea can take out the assassin, get herself to level 28, be in the bushes.
All this power just to survive.
And maybe that'll do it? Yeah. Well, something is still in attack range of Petra, so this might all be for nothing. Seteth can land this, so that's one fewer attacker in the safety box. Okay, I don't think this is gonna work, but let's see. Alright, instantly failed. Awesome.
I'd hoped.
And we see that it wasn't going to protect Petra anyway, because that sniper can get to her.
Let's go.
But at least Silent can dodge the disturbance. And of course, we're just overlooking the fact that Caspar has been dead for like an hour. Oh boy. 2 divine pulses left, huh? Yeah, this is looking great. So what we really need is for Dorothea to lock down this sniper, and then Petra might be able to just run to a safer position. Killer Lance doesn't hit, So Sniper gets to live, and now Dorothea is probably going to die as well because they can shoot her out of the sky.
I am nearing my limit.
All right, here's what we do. Here's what we do. We have Petra take out the assassin.
Each battle a victory.
Follow me on this. Petra takes out the assassin, so she's really far forward. We have Silith come up here and get rid of this sniper.
It won't be in vain.
Then if he kills that, we can have Setith come out of here, get rid of this bandit. Then we've still got Dorothea remaining to do something. Something about all of this.
Is this the final act?
And it appears that she can just run away and accept that Petra's going to die. Good.
My dream.
Yeah, your dream of not being dead. Looks like that was not a super realistic one. Silith taking a hit, getting a counterattack. And we are in a bad little spot, but can we even win this with the resources we have? Setith doesn't have a ton of HP. We've still got pass units.
This is really annoying.
Yeah, Caspar recommends that we just take a mulligan on this one.
Looters deserve no forgiveness. After them.
What the? Intruders! Protect the goods!
Okay.
Stop the thieves. Retrieve our
so you don't see a lot of when that happens on this channel, but it happened a lot over the course of this battle. It took me a long time to actually make this work. I hope I don't have to go through a whole lot of those. But I thought I would illustrate the difficulty of this mission by just moving you in to some of the entirely failed attempts and just some of the strategic binds that we're under. Because we have to get through this initial section of having Setith and Silith just live through the initial assault. And then we have Dorothea and Caspar spawn on the left and Petra on her own on the right. And you can see that while Dorothea can just fly into the safety box here, Caspar is stuck. If he moves at all, he draws the attention of a unit that can just one-round it. Petra is in a similar situation, because while she can get through that first brawler by attacking it, and then countering it before it kills her, she starts drawing units over to the right once she moves.
Huh? Professor?
So we're going to have to try and do some things differently.
I'm ready to join the battle.
I think it's just really hard to get around some of those hard constraints.
I will be.
So we see that their memories are entirely wiped, or they're just ignoring the fact that we just saw all of them die. Setith, of course, is entirely credulous as to what's happening. We get Dorothea back into the box, because we know she has to be over here to some extent. I think we're just going to wait a little bit and not put anybody in active danger right now, because we don't have to. We can just take a moment to heal. We don't have Thyrsus on Silith, so we'll just leave him right there. Petra, though, is dreaming of escape in a way that I don't think Caspar really can. Because what we can do is flip Petra into that set of bushes and move Dorothea to safety. So Petra is in danger from that sniper. So she has to win a coin flip, but I think even if she gets hit, she'll live. And we'll be able to flip her into the safety box. So the problem is she would still be in range of snipers at that point, and we would have no way of moving her to a safe position. So this is still like a really dangerous thing. But it's a way to try and fully load up the safety box. So if we can make that work. All right, Petra lands the dodge, and she gets a crit. That's incredible.
I fight for
Okay, that's the
justice's
first
name.
Petra wins crit we've actually seen in all of these attempts to get one with a 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 chance to make one land. Okay, so now we do have a couple units with pass, but it looks like if we put Seteth here, no one can get past him in melee. And that square where we can get Petra with reposition is actually safe. So we can have Petra go here. We can have Dorothea flip her over into the box. And then we'll actually be in a situation where we have Thyrsus and Caduceus staff available to start attacking all the units that get stacked up next to Seteth. And there is only one way to attack Seteth in melee right now. So he has to live through that melee attack and the attack from the snipers. Caspar just has to hope nobody sees him. Okay, a couple of blows landing on Seteth right now. Passive healing from Dorothea might actually be relevant to making some of our future moves possible. Good dodge there from Seteth, because he avoids the poison strike. Somebody saw Caspar, that's no good. And it looks like a lot of them saw Caspar. Oh no. And there was just no way to do a similar thing for him that we did for Petra, because there were no bushes, 1, and 2, that dude in the forest would have just gone over and killed Caspar as soon as he was in there. Because Caspar can't live through a single attack. So we can try to send Dorothea over here. But it looks like she'd be in a ton of danger. She can go right here, which is out of sniper range. Yeah, I don't think those sword people are going to go after her. Caspar can keep her safe, though.
This place will never fall with me around.
Oh, I don't know about that, buddy. But go for it. This will lock these melee fighters down. But I think there is a brawler that is in range to attack Caspar. So he just has to pray that those bushes are
I
enough.
went back to Bridget once, but I had to be returning to Foglin.
Petra was led back here by some higher purpose. Certainly not Silent, whom she only reluctantly agreed to help once she realized he was just happening to be here. Okay. But Petra giving us additional firepower is great. We can, for example, attack this brawler, and another crit out of Petra. The winds of Bridget may protect us. But I fear that more is coming for Caspar than even Petra can do things about. Seteth can get rid of this guy that was attacking him. That was a pass guy, I think. So that is a really good deletion. So if we can get someone to attack Seteth that won't kill him, that'd be great. Okay, a dodge from Caspar. He's alive for now. Seteth is not involved in that transaction. Sileth, though, gets a dodge there, and Caspar's luck runs out on the 3rd sword strike.
Guess this is the end. Don't worry about me. Keep fighting and win.
I don't know if we'll be able to win, but we're certainly going to try and keep fighting. I really legitimately don't know that there's a way for Caspar to have survived this mission. We would have had to make some real changes to how we approach Chapter 12, given him some additional defensive items, but there were so many attacks coming at him that just with his stats, I don't think it was ever going to happen. So we just have to focus on picking up the pieces now that Caspar is down. We have Petra in the safety box, which means we have the capability of healing, which is kind of a game changer. And now we can pass the Caduceus staff and Thyrsus around as well. So with Silent holding Thyrsus, we get some range on the fire. And there aren't enough melee units for us to really be all that worried. They do deal a lot of damage to Silent if they do get hits. But there's only one way for a melee attacker to get to him right now. Dorothea can come in and make sure that the number of melee attackers that we get to him is 0. And Dorothea is out of sniper range at that point. That's the sniper range is in red. So looks like Dorothea is partially successful as a dodge tank, and she does cut off the ability of other melee units to get into the safety box. Snipe coming down at Silith. He does get a counterattack. We don't love to see him taking that much damage, but we do love to see a mage getting speed. Following in Petra's footsteps, Petra, of course, the lord of the first half of this game. Alright, passive healing coming down on both Seteth and Silith. And, well, we have some gambits we can try to use to try and soften up some of the most dangerous units. So that gambit goes down and hits two of the most dangerous pass units. So Dorothea can fly over here, which you'll note is not in red, so she can't get sniped. There are potentially some melee attackers that will go for her. We have to find a way for Silith to live through this at a minimum. Petra can come over here and eliminate this sniper, one of the major sources of risk.
My heart burns
now that the pass units are locked down. And that still enables Seteth to step up here and block off access to the safety box for all the units that don't have pass. So he can get rid of the one pass bandit left. Getting awful level, but that point of defense is exactly what he needs for this mission. Because I think that will minimize or even negate the damage that the brawlers will be able to do to him. There's a lot of tension coming from just watching all of these units come for everybody. Brawler coming at Dorothea. Okay, so that is the flaw in this plan as currently constituted. But we've got some proof of concept. We can see how important that point of defense was for Seteth. It reduced that amount of damage by 4 at least. That brawler is really, really tough. So we've got to back up here and make sure that Dorothea can live. So I don't know what exactly would be helpful in getting her to live through this. We can pass Thyrsus off to Petra and just use Silith to get rid of this with the Caduceus staff. Well. So now Petra can attack from the bushes and can hit that sniper.
More fighting.
And then we'll be able to move Seteth up a little bit more.
Guide me
so
well.
The question becomes, what order do we want to do all this stuff in? We can attack there with Seteth. Get him to his awful level 27 that does give him precisely what he needs. So we have to just accept that that's going to happen. Yeah, there is always more to learn with Silith around because he ain't teaching you anything. Alright, now we can hope to land this reversal with the support of everybody. We land it, swap spaces with the assassin, and we can move Dorothea back into the safety box right here to provide the passive healing. And then we'll have Petra just eliminate the sniper whether she gets the crit or not. Okay, so now I don't think there is a point of failure where Dorothea gets killed right now. Okay, just a sword strike coming down on Seteth, and that's excellent because now no more melee units can attack him. And I don't think we have a sniper in range right now. There's one more on this half of the map. So we'll have to deal with that at some point, but none of the melee units could get to Seteth at the same time. And given how high Seteth's defense is, the passive healing from Dorothea does actually matter. The problem now is that we have these 3 pass units right at the front that can get behind Seteth and go to some of our more soft underbelly units. We do have absolute defense on Petra here, using some of those overpowered Nouvelle battalions with not so helpful gambits, at least not offensively. We do have one more reversal from Dorothea, Okay, so reversal did actually work there. It had some trouble with gambits that were just glitched. So now Dorothea can be safe exactly right there. And we have that assassin locked down. Now our goal is to get rid of all the other pass units and have Seteth plug up the entrance to the safety box. So this choke point is the real strategic advantage that we actually have. And now Silith can borrow Thyrsus again and just attack whatever we need him to. We have another assassin back there too. So we're going to have to just do whatever we can to try and take all of these hits, minimize the surface area that they have to attack. So there's one of the slots to attack Seteth. So now they have to pass by that unit and everyone else to get back here. Looks like this ends up with Silith going down. So we're going to have to try this again. Huh. Alright. We got 4 units in here. There's only so many permutations that we can try. We can minimize the surface area they have to attack Silent. Make sure that nobody can pass and attack him. Or we can use the assault troop strategy, which unfortunately means that there is a melee attack that can come as Silith because we kill that guy. So we can put the swig of Vulnerary. You know, we don't need the weak Tepid Grace here. Okay, Silith lives through that. Does that mean he's alive? Can that sniper get to anybody? Okay, and Seteth completely blocks that damage because we have female units in the safety box that can synergize with him now. And the sniper can't get to Silith. All right, we had the 1 HP that we needed. Well, three times as much as was necessary. And we gotta blow our second assault troop. There we go. Okay, how we're going to fare with 3 HP up there, but the key is that we have 3 spaces in this little choke point. So that sniper's a problem because it can probably get Silith and kill him. But if we can have Seteth just shoot back there, we can heal. Right, we have healing. I don't know if this is a relevant amount of healing, but we have healing. That gets Petra to level 31.
Hard work is a friend to count on.
But it is certainly not a source of good levels. Dorothea is still around and still able to help. We can get a Night Healer down. And that takes out this assassin and gets Dorothea to level 28.
I'm growing. But at what cost?
That guy's life at a minimum. Caspar's as well. So it's worth asking the question, certainly. Dorothea is safe right now. Will we live through this? Is the real question. Your weakness. So there we go. Seteth getting a counterattack victory. Good dodge there. Still taking a little bit of damage. The problem with moving Seteth this far out is that there's more surface area to attack him, so he has to take more damage. Looks like he can completely resist this Brawler right now, so that is good for him. There is one more opening to attack him in melee, and Silith gets the clutch dodge, so that we actually get to move on from here. If this lands, that's really, really bad. But it doesn't. Okay. Seteth is just charming enough to avoid that.
I must pull through.
So, we have now exhausted all of our assault troops. We can Bolganone down this assassin.
This could turn the tides.
And that very well could turn the tides, as long as we can keep Seteth safe and hardy enough to not die. If we get rid of this sniper, that gets rid of a lot of the threats to Silith, Petra, and Dorothea. So the question with Seteth is whether we just drink a concoction or keep attacking. He's at 31. They can't deal a ton of damage to him, but the problem is if he kills any of them, he opens up the door for someone else to attack him. So that might be the downfall of this particular strategy. So it's also not very dodgy, so it's unlikely that he'll be able to avoid very many of the hits if they are dealing damage to him. This one can't deal any, so... Okay, and that one lived through the counterattack. This guy probably will as well, but he can deal significantly more damage. So there's one dodge, but unfortunately we needed 2 for Seteth to live through that. So we might have to just have him heal. That might be the way out of this. Or reallocate how we're using our offensive resources from Petra and Dorothea. Now you'll note that the rest of the Slack Eagles have not even spawned yet, because I guess their spawn trigger is based on you moving forward enough throughout the map. Now, I think the real strat here is just to back Seteth up so that only one unit can attack him, because that will guarantee that he lives. And we'll drink that concoction too, just as a little bit of insurance. Now Dorothea can attack whoever she likes. We do want to get rid of these brawlers, because we just don't like them. They're getting all up in our business, and that's just rude. Attack coming in on Seteth. He does land the counterattack, and now they're just going to do a little bit of repositioning. So, Seteth, what do we want you to attack? You can eliminate this brawler. You didn't have a great chance of hitting any of them. You'll remember that the mastery you saw him get earlier was of the warrior class. That's right, he is in a beginner class right now, using that bow. And we desperately tried to get him up to bow rank D so that he could use that mini bow both offensively and defensively. Petra getting a kill here, just thinning out their numbers enough that we may actually be able to dream of leaving the safety box and getting everyone else to spawn on this mission.
Only thorns left on this
Got
rose.
a kill there with Dorothea, and we can just hop her back, and we only have 2 units left, and we'll be able to leave the box. Seteth getting a counter here on this bandit, and just one more that can't even get an attack off. So we've got our magic units that'll be able to attack the thing that is at fuller health. We'll use the gauntlets to give ourselves a better chance of getting rid of this one that's in front of Seteth. And now, here we go. We're coming out of the box. Oh, man. I never thought we'd get this far. R.I.P. Caspar, but this is the most success that I've had in so many tries of this mission.
It's win or die.
So, well, yes. Someone should have told Caspar that, I suppose. Oh, man. Alright. Let's just keep moving forward. Dorothea, we have some time to regroup, process, grieve Caspar. Just keep moving. Alright. We've got a lot of repositioning, some healing, you know, signing up for grief counseling that we got to take care of. We have this lone brawler over here that was keeping Petra captive for so long before Dorothea came to the rescue, and now we're going to get Seteth ready to deal with this guy. So, Seteth not taking any damage, and missed his 69% chance. Seteth, you gotta just learn what's going on in life, buddy. If you don't know why that number is funny, ask Flame. She'll tell you. Now, we get Miasma off with Syleth, so that just someone else can try to get this kill. We could try to humiliate it by punching it, or we can just go for the mini bow shot. We'll put the accuracy ring on, because I remember we have multiple things that we can put on Seteth, and then we'll go for the shot.
Destiny
That'll take it out. And get Seteth to level 28.
I can feel it in my
And
bones.
that's a good one. I guess if you feel it in your bones, that's the magic flowing through you. And now we got Seteth to another place where he can draw out some small number of units. But the key is that we have a little wad of units up there, but we found another choke point that we could abuse. So sniper back there. Unfortunately, we are fresh out of assault troops, but look at this.
A battle? Oh, there wasn't supposed to be anyone here. Wait, is that Professor?
She didn't want him to show up either.
Professor, you're alive after all. Well then, I am quite pleased with my choice to come here.
There's some sarcasm from Linhardt.
Professor? Never mind. We have to focus on winning this fight.
Yeah, and Ferdinand can put his
Lend us
hatred
a hand.
aside just long
Beat
enough
them back.
to engage the self-preservation instinct. And now we've got to deal with all these guys in a line waiting to try and kill us. So if we land both of these punches, we get rid of the first bandit
That is
line.
all.
So that's always nice. But of course we have pass, so this choke point isn't as useful as it could be. I think we're going to have Dorothea stay here, go back. Looks like the way we're going to do this. And whoever we put in the middle will be targetable only by the sniper. Petra can get rid of another one of the melee units. We still got Silith back there we've got to decide what to do with. We can engage this assassin over here with Bernie, who is now on the map. We'll keep Linhardt out of range and keep Ferdinand in a supporting position. No magic coming down yet against Bernie. I don't think they have any magic units on this map. So Ward will not be all that helpful. Get a dodge on the Gambit there. And we're hit by the Venom Bow for 0. Do we still get poison status? Yes, we do. Assassin coming at Bernie. We see that her Pavis skill triggers, and she misses her counterattack.
If we
So
split our troops in two,
not great
we
up
can
there.
attack from the north and the south to trap their leader.
Seteth trying tactical advice. Dude, we just got out of the safety box, and we're still processing Kaspar's death. And you're trying to kill Pilardo?
Flame Spirit,
There we
protect
got
me.
the Frigid Winds, powered by Vengeance for Caspar, taking that dude out. We've got a sniper back there, which isn't great, but we're going to try and get to a situation where maybe we can get into melee combat with that sniper.
I have faith.
But of course, it is not to be. Thunder did not get the crit we wanted. One punch, not enough. Get rid of this brawler. So looks like that job is going to fall to Dorothea. Curved shot coming in, 82% lands.
Only thorns left on this rose.
Okay, so she gets the money. She backs it up. And now we hope that everyone is going to live through that sniper attack. Ferdinand has magic. And this assassin can't dodge magic all that well, so that explains the choice we made. Ferdinand also has the fetters, so he could have moved, but there is very little room for maneuver here. Let's go for a smash with Linhardt, and we landed at 89% and get tantalizingly close to the next level. Now we have a decision to make with Bernie. We will draw out the next unit coming from the right here, which I believe is a sniper. So she is probably going to take some damage, but she has HP to spare, and we have Ferdinand to heal her up. So Bernie taking some hits now. Turns out that outfit does leave some areas exposed, so the sniper took advantage of that. Now, Ferdinand has magic that I think would be a little more powerful than the punches, given his stats right now and the enemy's stats. Bernie couldn't finish this off either, so Linhardt, we need your help. Don't get yourself in too much trouble, but come on in with the rapier. Looks like is the most accurate weapon you've got at the moment.
Exciting.
That'll get you to level 28.
Battle does have its benefits.
For your magic resistance, which is totally useless at this moment. Now, we can get in melee with this sniper. We'll take advantage of that with Sylith. And then the question is, who else? We can actually get in melee with Dorothea. So we can get around its choke point usage. And Dorothea is going to be really mad at us for stealing our choke point strategy.
Just like that.
And just back up, Dorothea. So it looks like all of the relevant action will be in the top left right now. So we're just going to do some moving and not healing right now because Petra doesn't have physic. She has restore, so she can get the poison off. And no movement on enemy phase. So now we can actually do some healing. And look at how fast we can heal things up. We literally tripled his HP. With that, do we have the confidence to move him up? Let's look at some numbers. Computation is what we all came to this game to do. And up here in the top left, we're not quite ready to shove Bernie into the next line of fire. So let's just heal her up with Ferdy. Our healing is pretty slow. I don't think we want Linhardt to engage a couple of snipers on his Wyvern, so let's just have him use his passive healing ability. Everyone remember that personal skill that everyone loves? Let's go ahead and move Sylith and Dorothea up here with Seteth. Can heal and fight out this assassin and see how that goes. One hit and two leaves Seteth with 2 health, which is 1 more than he needs. And bow shot goes down on the assassin, leaving it with 16. Petra and Sylith should be in a good position to finish it off, so we can move Dorothea ahead. And Sylith gets an 89% chance and misses. Petra, we're really going to need somebody to kill this thing. We're leaving it to Seteth, and what can he do? He can manually change what weapon he has equipped. That was a good use of my time. What we actually needed to do was equip the accuracy ring. That was the thing I meant to change. You know, this mission, I've been trying it so many times, it's addling my brain, and we missed there too? Oh man, do I have to spend a Divine Pulse for that? That's embarrassing.
What's my strategy?
Alright. What we would like is for Sylith to hit, because then that'll get the poison strike off, so now any follow-up attack will land it, and that gets Sylith to level 28.
I'll use this power.
More speed magic following Petra's lead. Okay, taking a step back from your faux leadership position is always good there, Sylith. Dorothea, let's not take any chances here. Knight Healer raises it to 100%.
Will this ever
takes
end?
him out. And I feel like this mission will never end either. But we're moving forward slowly but surely. Now we can move Petra forward to get a heal, and we can put Seteth on that heal tile as well.
I have faith.
Get a little more HP back. What can you attack? Thing that's irrelevant?
I'm
Awesome.
awake.
Now Lynn can shoot down this barricade, figure out where the safe squares are, move himself there, and now both of those units can only attack Bernie, which is precisely what we want them to
Ready
do.
for anything.
We can have Ferdinand do a little more healing to try and keep up with the losses that we're taking on Bernie, and he'll even get the Mockingbird Thieves up to their maximum potential just from doing that. So what do we want to equip her with? I think we'll just keep the Iron Axe out Gives her the best chance of hitting on the counter here, even though it didn't actually work. But Crest of Index didn't work either. Good try, though, Bernie. Now, a couple of sniper shots coming in, and she's poisoned. So that is a lot of passive damage being taken, plus the poison strike. So she's down to 26. We've got to get rid of these. There's just no real way around it. Magic from Ferdinand does a little bit, but I think what we've got to do with Linhardt is take this assassin out and then just fly away.
I'll do what it takes.
Getting out of sniper range is going to be a little tricky, but if he goes right there, I think he's okay. Especially if Bernie moves forward and makes it harder for that sniper to just walk wherever he wants. Especially if you like cut him in half, he can't walk very well. So good play there by Bernie. Dorothea can get into melee here and do another trick like Bernie did.
Is my stage now.
But with stabbing instead of slicing. So, you know, it's hard for them to move if they're pinned to a wall with a lance in their stomach. Just like it's hard for them to walk when they're cut in half. Alright. So now things are looking up for the Slack Eagles minus Caspar. Gambit hitting Bernie isn't great, but we've still got Ferdy and Linhardt over here to clean things up. Linhardt has quite a bit of firepower to take out half of its HP, guaranteed with the curved shot, which he very recently learned. And now Ferdinand can get in melee. Does he want to punch or does he want to magic? Looks like punching has just enough power.
A boon for our future.
And that gets him mastery of warm-up.
Everything I've done
that
has led
brawl
to this.
avoidance may become useful in the future. So still got the fetters. So Ferdinand will be able to join the squad down here who is missing Caspar. Gotta take a swig of our drink there from Bernie. Picked up an armor slayer with Dorothea. She can just fly around with whatever keys. So we have to get more keys out of the convoy. And we've only got so many units left. So ideally, we want to pick all of them off before Pilardo starts running around. So we'll be able to focus down 1 or 2 units at a time when Pilardo's running. We got a silver lance. So, excellent. I probably should have looked up what was in all of these boxes before I started opening them, because there's only so many keys. Alright, so we fail to get the dodge there with Petra, but we do land the counterattack. So that is a good start on that sniper. Now we've got a nice little line of units. We are used to dealing with that by now. So, Petra, ooh, advantage, but it's okay. We had to land one of those points, right? That's how probability works. And we get a crit because Petra is very angry that you would try to take advantage of a mistake. Now, Dorothea, you can reposition Sedith to try and block their forward motion. And, of course, you're just going to stand right here anyway so that the assassin with pass can't come and get Petra. Of course, we still got a sniper coming after Dorothea. Overlooked that little bit of trivia. Ferdinand, come on down here.
Ah, Professor, you have not changed a bit.
Nope. No, he hasn't, because he is still getting everyone around him into very precarious situations. So just wait around. Linhardt looks like he has a mechanism to try and be helpful, and it is not attacking that barricade for no reason. No, it is using curved shots, trying to win slightly better than coin flip here, and he does. Gets a little bit of chip damage on that dangerous assassin. Now we can move over here, and Bernie can try to slowly trundle through the woods. Sedith. Not doing great. And, going for Silas instead of Dorothea, because unexpectedly, I guess that assassin stepped right in the sniper's way, so that's helpful, and Silas is gonna open a door.
I will prevail.
Celebrate. Awesome. Excellent misclick.
Each battle a
Okay.
victory.
So now we don't have Sileth around to help, but was he really helping in the first place? So we'll just use Petra and Seteth to take care of things.
Me? Left.
And we got another chest key. That'll be helpful. We can go grab the Axe of Ukon with somebody, maybe. We can heal all of the poison now that Bernie's down here, and that'll even get Ferdy to level 30. The Ferdy 30. He gets a point of magic that he didn't have before, and some speed. So everyone is happily taking lessons from Petra. We do a bunch of item training so that we can have Dorothea go around and pick up the axe that we know is back there in one of those boxes. Do a bunch of repositioning. We have to take out these few units before we engage Falardo.
So what have you been doing these last 5 years? Sleeping? Why, I must say I'm a bit envious.
And we wish he's been sleeping, because he could have been doing all kinds of damage to the mines of Fodlan. We know that the axe is up there somewhere. I think it is in the right one. So we get Seteth engaging in another futile little combat where he gets poisoned. And we're drawing out the sniper and the brawler as well. Let's get Sileth in position to help out here. We land the miasma, so that should land the poison strike as well. Next up is Linhart. Not very accurate with your axes, but we do need the power that comes with the axe hit. So there's the smash.
Today I was
Takes
lucky.
out the assassin, and now we can move people up to attack that brawler. Move Linhart back because we don't want him in front. There's our axe, and now Dorothea can come in on the other side and try and engage. But I think we'll leave her up here to start things off with Palardo, given how quickly I imagine everyone will be able to work through these units. So some magic going down, and Ferdy can hop into the woods. Seteth, what can you do? Its defense is no slouch, huh? But it won't live through getting hit in a vital organ, so that's always nice.
There is always more to learn.
D+ coming down.
You
for
boosted
Bopros.
morale.
And Ferdy is impressed if no one else is. Petra can move forward and knock the poison off of Seteth. And now Bernie will remember that she's around. Here comes the sniper going after Seteth. One dodge. Just one. Okay, so Seteth not doing great. Alright, so we've got one sniper left. We can go in, take the gloves off in a very literal sense, and punch this nerd in the face. And Seteth can come on in and go for the point-blank shot here. Well, no, punch the nerd in the face.
That is all.
So that particular nerd had some athleticism, so he could dodge a punch. Now, Bernie is going to be the first one
all my will
to
to come out
engage
here today.
Falardo.
But seeing you again, Professor? That's torture.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Just a little bit of torture. Because you decided that you wanted to help the church and set it out. This is the cost of doing business.
No, I'm not the one you want. I guess I've got no choice.
Falardo doesn't want to have anything to do with Sileth either. But Sileth doesn't always give people a choice. We can fly Linhart in, and it looks like he can just take care of the rest of the HP on this version of Falardo. And he pops up right over there.
Should we retreat?
He has some treasure from the monastery too. Do not let him escape.
Okay, so now just 3 units left. We can keep Linhart on their case. Bernie is going to be very angry that she didn't actually get to do anything. She walked all the way over here. Do you know how hard it is to walk in all that armor, which you might not be able to see, but she's definitely wearing? Dorothea remembers she has a bow, so she can just start the chip damage party. And yeah, none of these units are particularly dangerous. We can keep Linhart and Dorothea just flying around and harassing them. get the rest of our units in position. Yep, just a little pinprick there from Dorothea, what she's practiced over the years. She kept a sewing club up socially ever since leaving the monastery, where obviously the Gary Mock sewing club do not meet anymore. Linhart here actually using a weapon of some sort, which is a bit of an improvement in our arsenal. We can get Sedith in position to intercept. We'll use Ward just to get a little bit of XP. And here we go. Some useless punches coming down on Sedith. And he is going to retaliate in an extremely unnecessarily intense way. Just a few more attacks and we might actually do it. We'll be through hunting by Daybreak, and the transition over to the church units will be complete. Slack Eagles in their finale just have Pilardo to deal with. So Petra is going to try and blow him away.
You should yield me a tidy profit.
You can't even retaliate, dude. So he's just taking that wind hit. And Bernie. Is Bernie going to get the last blow, or is Sedith going to rightfully claim his top spot in this mission? 69% chance to hit would be very impressive, but we don't want to give him the chance to counter. There we go, Sedith. Fens Garrick Mock and all of the students save Caspar.
I thought it would be easy money.
R.I.P.
Maybe it wasn't meant to be.
Oh, it definitely was. For
That
a while.
man used to be a merchant here at the monastery. He must have fallen on hard times to take up with
He
those
must have
thieves.
fallen on hard times? Did you see all of the iterations that we had to go through? Anyway, enjoy your MVP. Alright, thanks everybody for your patience in this one coming out. Definitely took a while both to win and to make the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one as we move to the church. Thanks, see you next time.